Hello, hello. My mother said to start up Instagram and she'd be here soon. So let me go ahead and get that together. Also, can you hear me okay? I discovered that one of my USB ports on this laptop does not like this microphone. So I have to make sure that it's in the correct one. Okay. Number 71. Stream key. Waiting for the preview. Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Are you alive? Can you hear me? You cannot hear me? Ma'am, stop.
We ready?
Yes. Oh, wait, hang on. I said I was going to put Instagram in a sidebar this time so I can see. Give me just a second. I said I was going to do this and then immediately forgot. Let's do this. Can I pull? Okay, hang on. I know how to make this work. I know I can make this happen. Do this. Pull this over here. There we go. Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. Then we are going to go live in 3, 2, click.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday morning coffee Klatsch. I am your presenter, Dani, the Coughing Colleen, and this is my co-presenter,
Artemis or Maya.
And for those of you who have not been here before, we are just a little chatty chat show where we are here to keep you company. We are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you are doing dishes, while you are tending toddlers, or while you are unpacking at your billionaire boss's condo because you are moving in with him to pretend to be his fake girlfriend to piss off his ex, who happens to be dating his father, but his father does not know that this is his ex.
Wild.
So you don't want your father to be upset because your father's also going through some issues too.
Is this a reality show or a book? I mean, not a reality show. Is this a drama TV show or a book?
This is a book. For those of you who are new, that last scenario, I did not make up myself. I pull these scenarios from books. And starting from today, I'm going to start listing the books in the description box down below if you come back when this is on demand. But this book I'm talking about is Faking Ms. Right, the first book in the Dirty Martini Running Club series by Claire Kingsley.
If you had to give an estimate, how many of the dramas and books that you consume involve marrying a rich man even though you don't want to, and then you fall in love?
Actually, the Fake Dating the Billionaire, I don't read a lot because I don't read contemporary a lot. But this one happens to be contemporary romance. And it was pretty good. It has to be a really quirky situation for me to read contemporary romance. Usually I go for the monsters and the aliens. Or historical time travel. But anyway. So, first up.
Ooh, you got
what are you drinking? I'm drinking coffee.
I was going to go out and get some coffee today. And didn't. So I'm drinking Orange Pineapple VA Splash.
Oh, healthy.
It's very good.
I didn't put any more of the cream on my coffee because
No fancy coffee today?
Today is not a day for fancy coffee. I'm also having some...
Today is the day for cough drops, it sounds like.
Red, white, and blue Cheerios. Team Cheer. Wasn't quick enough on the mute button, sorry.
You're good.
Team Cheerio. I guess because of the Olympics coming up, your father bought some of those. Dry Cheerios and an orange.
Yep, I just got the juice.
And the people on my phone just will not. They want my attention.
Don't they know it's the Wednesday morning coffee Klatsch?
How about you talk for a second while I see what these folk want?
Well, while she's doing that, I will go ahead and put up the link for the crossword. Just scroll across the bottom. We have a crossword that goes on in the background. So if you would like to join that, if you're live and would like to join that, go ahead. If you're joining after the fact, we usually leave up the last crossword that we're working on. So if you go to the website after the stream, you're watching this as a VOD or something, it may still be up there. Maybe you could throw in a few words. And we will be getting into... we're going to get into market recap and upcoming markets. Because I have not worked on anything crafty. So that is the biggest thing I have to talk about. And then we can do our little bit of crafty stuff. And then we'll talk about TV and things. Let me get rid of the things that I have already done. Get rid of that. Okay. So market recap. This past Saturday was the big Fey Nectar market that I was getting ready for. And for context, the last three big festivals that I've done with them have been, I want to say $500 for me profit, $500, $800, and then $1,000. So I was expecting a big market, and so I was trying so hard to get a bunch of stuff together. If you check last stream, you'll see that I finished a big stingray. I finished a big mushroom hat, and I had like a big bee, and then I didn't get to show it on stream because I literally, as we were setting up, I helped haul things out of the car and then sat down in my chair, and while Wayne and Ari and Tyler were there with me as well. So while they were setting things up around me, I was sewing the arms and legs onto the dragon. The arms, legs, and wings onto the dragon. But I got it done basically as it was time to start. And so I set it up on the table. The dragon did sell. the stingray did sell. Big B did not sell. And my mushroom hat didn't sell, even though everybody came over and they're like, oh my goodness, a mushroom hat, which makes me feel like I should price it lower because I had it priced at 70 and it makes me feel like I should price it lower because 70 is a lot for a hat, but also it took me a long time. So it's going to stay at 70 for a while. Maybe it'll just be
That's the problem with making things like that, is that it takes you a lot of effort. So, but if you charge for what it actually takes you, it's going to be hard to find somebody to actually pay that, especially for something like that that's like a costume item.
Yeah.
You know, if it was something that people could wear with a lot of different outfits and stuff, then they might be willing to invest in the piece. But for a costume item, it's hard to get people to come up off that much money.
Yeah. So like I can't, I'm finding more that I just need to make the simplest clothes that I can charge the least amount for, and then do the big price items on like the stuffies, because those will sell. So the hat did not sell, but I'm just gonna leave it sitting on the table for a while, like to show off or whatever. Maybe I'll wear it at markets and show it off and just throw a price tag on it so people know it's for sale. But that market was a little disappointing because I was expecting, because like I said, the last 3 markets have been like 500, 800, 1,000. And so I was hoping to stay up in that like 700, 800 range. But we only made about $500 that day, which is not nothing. Like $500 is absolutely not nothing. But I was expecting and really hoping for like 700 or 800. And it was not that. We think part of it was just because it was so dang hot. It was so hot that day. It was like in the 90s that day. And we were outside in a field and it was humid because we're right by the water. And it was just, we think that people just weren't coming out until it's hot. And I would have stayed because they let the vendors stay later in the day. And so it started cooling down part of the way through the day. And as soon as it started cooling down, I got a little rush of people, which is when because I didn't make 500 until that like very last bit. Like I think I sold 3 or 4 items in the last like 30 minutes that I was there. And that's what bumped me up to the 500. But all those people came in the little rush once it started, like as soon as the clouds went over the sun and it like was going to be cool for the rest of the evening. That's when all those people came out, and they let people stay later in the day because we were told like 3 to 8, and so that's what we planned for. But we can't stay any longer than that because we don't have anybody to walk or watch our dogs for that period of time. So we leave in time to get there at 2. And then we leave our house at like 1 o'clock. And so we walk the dogs around 1, leave the house at 1 o'clock. And then we left the event at 8 o'clock. So we didn't get back until like 9. So from 1 to 9, there was nobody at my house tending the dogs. So I would stay later and try to pick up those extra sales, but it just, they have to be walked. I don't want them to potty in my house. I don't want them to be uncomfortable. I don't want them. So I want to see if we can work something out about that, of maybe Wayne stays home and I bring a friend with me and then he can walk the dogs and I can stay later. I don't know. We're trying to work that out. But so that one wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it was still good. It was still decent. And then, sorry, I'm pulling up my calendar because the next thing I have is upcoming events. So I have several events coming up. So I have my usual Wednesday market every week. So I'm going to be going to that today. And then I have an event tomorrow at New Belgium, which is the one that you saw in the pictures where you said it looks like they have friggin' spaceships in the background. The brewery. I have an event there, but it is just henna and face paint, and they're paying me a flat rate for that one. So so that's good. That's $400. So that's an extra nice little chunk for that. I'm saying numbers. I want to clarify for anybody watching the video. I'm saying numbers because I like when I watch videos of people who are doing crochet stuff and doing market stuff, and they say how much they make at the thing. They say so I can get an idea of what is reasonable. Anyway, because there are some people who are like, oh, this market didn't go very well, or this sold but this didn't, and then give no prices and no sales and no anything. And I'm like, but what's good for you? Are you like, what are you like living in your parents' house and don't have to pay any bills? And so $50 is good for you? Or are you paying bills, have to make sales and stuff? And so $50 is heartbreaking and you need to make $500. So anyway, so I've got New Belgium tomorrow, which is $400. They are gonna cut me a check. And then I've got Fay Nectar again this Saturday, but it's a smaller market. And the Fay Nectar this Saturday is a smaller market. And I believe I'm in for Fay Nectar this Friday as well for one of their pirate events, because I haven't been to any of their pirate events. So I would like to try to go to that, because I hear that Fridays are pretty decent as well. So I'm going to try to do that. And then next week, so like the next couple weeks are a lot. So Friday, pirate event, Saturday, Fay Nectar. And then next Wednesday, normal Wednesday market. And then next Friday, another pirate event. Next Saturday, we are driving to Georgia for a festival in Augusta, Georgia. So we're doing that. I contacted Ari because Ari and Tyler live in Georgia, but they are nowhere near Augusta. So we're just going to have to make a drive and make a drive back. We are getting the car checked out on Tuesday just to make sure that we're all good. And then we're going to drive down there, and hopefully, because it's called the Twilight Fairy Market or Twilight Fairy Festival. And so definitely within my like vibe of things. But it's the first one that they've put on. So it could be great, or it could be a disaster. And so I am hoping...
Well, not a disaster, just they've never put it on, so you might not get a lot of people out there.
Which could be a disaster. We're driving 4 hours.
Yeah,
and then,
but you say disaster, I think Fire Festival. It's not going to be a disaster.
Okay, so I'm not going to anything big enough to be a disaster like Fire Festival. At least I hope not. Ugh. Yeah. But so Twilight Fairy Festival in Georgia is next Saturday, and then the very next week after that, I have First Friday that Friday, and then the big Fay Nectar Festival the next Saturday. So I have back-to-back big festivals on Saturday that I have to try to get prepped for and make sure that I've got items for. So I'm going to see if I can crank out 2 more dragons. The last dragon I did, I was sewing him together as we were sitting at the table. And I don't really want to be doing that again. And they just take a lot. What I am not going to do, though, I'm not going to use this burnout blanket anymore. Because I realized that was part of my issue was, for some reason, this burnout blanket, because I was using the burnout blanket, and then I was using it
for all your stuffies.
I do, and for smaller ones, it's not bad. For a bigger one, it's just too rough. Not rough feeling like, oh, it doesn't feel like the soft squishy, but rough feeling as in it is hard for me to get the stitches to go through. And so if I'm just making a little squid or making a little bee, that is no problem. Because I'm not going to be doing that much. It'll if I'm making a lot of them at once, then yeah, my arm will be a little bit tired, but that it's not as bad. Making an entire dragon out of this, I was forcing and pulling, and I originally started off using my 5mm hook because it fits the 5mm hook. It fits it fine, and it makes it a little more close knit, so I don't have to worry about holes or anything. It has pulled, let me see if I can even show, it has pulled my 5mm out of its grip.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it slides out of the grip now. It's still grippy, so I can't get it all the way out, but there's nothing in there. It slides it all the way out. And so I have to anytime I'm working with something sturdy now, I have to push my hook down on the table and force it back into the grip because it has dislodged it. It was annoying. It was very annoying, and it hurt my elbow and my shoulder.
Well, at least you got a full hook in that grip. Some people who make those kind of hooks, they put a little half hook in there.
Yeah.
And pull it out, and it would be out.
Yeah, no, it's a full hook. So, but it's just, it was very frustrating. So I am going to switch to, it's all the way on the other side of the room, so I'm not going to go grab it. but I'm switching to Loops and Threads has a chenille yarn that from looking at it looks kind of like the Premier yarns. I've never used the Premier yarn, but from eyeballs from looking at it, it looks like the Premier yarn. It is buttery smooth. It's a lot easier to work with. It's a bit smaller, like a little smaller. Hello, Uncle. We got your brother and my uncle in the chat on Instagram. It looks a little bit smaller, but not like too bad. It's still like that dragon's still gonna work up to be a big dragon. Like, unless I'm using friggin' fingering weight yarn, that dragon is still gonna work up to be I bet even if I made it in worsted weight, that dragon was still gonna be a big dragon. So I'm not super concerned about the size. I am concerned about my elbow and getting things done, because it just slowed me down, because I would like wha huh, as opposed to like just going through and doing my stitches.
You were crocheting like me then.
Yes, I was doing freaking crochet cardio. Like, it was okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna see if I can knock out 2 dragons, one for each festival. We'll see. And I might make another stingray as well. If I do, it's going to be same situation of I'm switching the yarns, because I'd use that Bernat blanket for that as well, and it just was not. Ma'am, you are catching all of my yarn. Can you give me my yarn back, please? It's on your paw. Oh, poor baby. Come here. Thank you. She was like shaking her paw because it was like stuck on her paw, and I'm trying to pull the yarn off. No. But yeah, the stingray was the same issue of it looked great. That yarn was a nightmare to work with for big projects. So I'm learning that yarn is only for smaller projects. I'm not going to do it for bigger projects anymore. So I need to go back to, the problem is the Loops and Threads is at Michael's. And usually I shop at Aunt Joanne's. So I even went through the effort of, last time I was at Michael's, I signed up for their
Loops and Threads is a little bit cheaper too, right?
It depends on if you're counting the sales, because Loops and Threads is a little bit cheaper if I'm getting my Bernat at full price. If I'm getting my Bernat at Joanne's Always Has Sales, and I always bring up my app when I'm at the register sales, then it's close to the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if I'm going to Michael's from now on,
Threads is like, in my mind, Loops and Threads is like mainstays. It's like the off label.
I think it's just the Michael's brand or whatever.
Yeah.
But I signed up for the Michael's emails, and so hopefully I can start getting discounts over there as well, to buy things. And Loki, I've been getting fed on YouTube a lot of videos of people buying yarn in bulk, and I'm like, maybe
they need to stop sending me those, because I'm getting videos too. I keep getting this one video of this woman who the thumbnail is she's got like a whole shopping cart full of yarn.
Oh, the one that I keep getting is she's got like, there's a girl who's got like a huge box of yarn, and it says $1,000 on yarn, and I'm like,
yeah, I think I got that one in my thing too.
It's like half a rent payment on yarn.
Seriously.
But so those are my upcoming markets that I'm going to be trying to get ready for. The next thing that we talk about here is Yarny Thoughts. Because I just had a big festival this past Saturday, I did not really work on anything. I just took a break because I had been busting my butt trying to get ready for that festival. So I just took a break. I like halfway started a few different things. Oh no, I did work on something. I totally forgot. Are you frozen?
No, I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay. You were so still in reading whatever you're reading.
In case anybody hasn't noticed, I am sick, and so I am trying not to move.
Not to shake out the coughs. You gonna make it? Okay. I did work on something I worked on it on Monday while I was at work, just because I knew work was going to be slow, and I was like, let me just bring something to work on. And so I made some Pokeballs. They turned out so good. You are muted, so I don't know what you're saying, but I'm sure that it is saying that they look so good. They look so realistic, and you love them. Pokeballs. I started a third one, but didn't finish.
No, that's not what I was saying at all. I was saying I've made a Pokeball before.
I know you made. I thought you made a Pokeball like hat. Did you make Pokeballs? Like the actual?
No, I made a Pokeball for one of your sister's exes.
Oh. This is why I have not seen this thing.
One that I thought was going to stick around. So I made them something. Apparently that's the curse.
The curse.
Maybe I thought the curse just extended to the girlfriend. Maybe it extends to the girlfriend's parents too. So maybe I should not make her current partner anything.
Ooh. I'm gonna mute you myself while you are coughing. But I started a third one. But I didn't pull, as you can see, I did not put the button on it. So I need to do that. But these turned out pretty good. I think these are going to sell pretty well at markets. I'm trying to expand. I was trying to keep all of my, just remember when you're ready to talk again, you need to unmute. I was trying to keep all of my stuff within fairy themed because the market that I go to the most is Fae Nectar. And so I don't want anything that's like outside of, I don't want to waste my time working on something that's outside of theme that I can't put on the table or that they would ask me to remove from the table. But I do have my Wednesday market every Wednesday, and I gotta make some sales with that market. It is like I think the most that I've made at that market has been like $50. And it is just not the market for me right now. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to make it the market for me. I talked to the market manager and they switched the place that I was at that market because I was having the issue of people would walk in the doorway and they would walk with their head turned the other way. Like I need to be, with my stuff, I feel like I need to be front and center because people will, if they see me from afar, like if they see my stuff from a distance, they will clock, oh, that's crochet stuff, and then walk past my table with their head turned the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have shifted my table so that my table is more front and center. Whenever they walk in, there are two doors. I'm basically kind of at a corner. There are two doors. And so I was right at the outside door essentially. And people still, because I was also directly in front of the cheese guy, people would walk with their head face over to the cheese, and then the meat person is directly next to him. And so they would just walk right past my table with their head turned every single time. And so we have shifted me over. So I'm directly in front of the meat lady, but that is also basically right in line with the door. So if they are walking into the door, they have to be walking directly at my table, essentially. And so the very first day that we did that, I made an extra 6 sales that I normally wouldn't make at that market. Like it was a much more poppin' day. So today will be the second day of testing
and
that out.
The Wednesday market, where is that?
The Wednesday market is just a farmer's market. It's in Weaverville.
So it's just a farmer's market. So you're just getting average people. So,
yeah, just average Joes. But there are other craft vendors at that market as well. And even if I don't make crochet sales, which I wasn't super expecting to make at that market, I don't make face paint sales at that market. Like kids that are coming in and out of there all the time. And so I was hoping to make face paint sales at that market because that's what I did at the Mars Hill market. So I don't know if it's because it's a Wednesday, which is like a school night, but school is out now.
Exactly.
So school is out. Yeah. So I'm hoping that now that school is out, because when I first started, school was still in, they were still doing classes stuff. But now that school is out, I'm hoping that since school is out, I can start making some face paint sales, some henna sales, some glitter tattoo sales, and make
are
that
there are there a lot of kids that come to that market? Maybe things that are more themed, because I think you could get away just like with the Pokeballs, you could get away with themed things like made from video games or whatever, since you're not selling them online.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Like the Pokeballs, I'm definitely gonna make some more of those because I have a feeling those are gonna go pretty well. I am trying to find hello on Instagram. I am trying to find a bluey pattern that I like because bluey is so popular right now. Like
Yeah.
at the party store that I work at, people buy bluey party stuff like almost every day. And so I am trying to find a bluey pattern that I like that looks good because I've watched the show. So I'm trying to find one that looks good that also is not going to involve me sewing on 700 pieces. Because if I have to sew on 700 pieces, it's going to take a long time and I'm going to have to raise the price. And I'm sure people at a farmer's market on a Wednesday are not going to want to pay $50 for a bluey doll.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find one that I like. But yeah, so that is all that I've completed was the Pokeballs because like I said, I was taking a break since I had the bigger market. I am currently working on a flower hat. I've got, let's see, where's the side with the good petals? There we go. Currently working on a flower hat. So this is the last row of the petals and stuff. And then I just have to make the stem bit that goes on top. And so it'll have a green stem, which I tried to find my greener green, but could not find it. And so I'm going to end up using this one, which I feel like it's still going to look good. It's going to look like a little bluebell. Like, what is the name of that type of flower? I can't think of it. But yeah, I'm going to use this green since that's the one that I had available directly in my face. I have a lot of like, what kind of green is that? Like, not olive green, but like muted greens. I have a lot of muted green yarn for some reason.
Like a moss green?
Yeah, I have a lot of mossy green yarns for some reason. But yeah, so I am on the last row of the petals for this flower hat, and it's turning out a lot cuter than I thought it was going to. And after constructing this hat, because I was wondering how the little like petal ribs, like this little separation was going to happen. It's just a front post double crochet. It's just, and I don't know why I thought it was going to be so much more complicated than that. It's just a front post double crochet. So I think the next time I'm going to make these, because the petals look cute, but they don't like come out quite as much as I wanted them to. And after looking at a couple other flower hats, I think I'm going to try this again and alter the pattern and just have a couple rows that don't go all the way around and are just the petals. So it looks like the petals are a bit more separated. Mm-hmm. So I can have pieces that come off a bit. And I saw a couple flowers where they made the petals pointy instead of rounded. So I might try that. But because this hat has worked up pretty quickly. I just started this last night.
Oh, it's really cute.
Right? And I'm using that ugly blue that I hate because that's my test yarn for everything. Since everybody else likes that yarn and I don't, I'm going to test a pattern that I'm not sure of in this. And if it works out well, then someone will buy it because everybody else other than me apparently likes this blue yarn. And if it doesn't work out, then I only wasted my ugly blue yarn that I hate.
You're so weird.
It's like having, what's it called? It's like mocking up clothes in muslin or whatever whenever you're a seamstress.
A seamstress.
But yeah, that's what I got done. So while you have the ability to speak at the moment.
Did you work on your crochet along?
What? Crochet along? What?
Ma'am, you are making a full dress.
I am.
So you have got to at least start.
My problem is
at least cast on.
My problem is cast on. My problem is I keep thinking to myself, oh, well, I've got this big festival coming up. I'll just do it after this big festival. But then big festivals keep happening.
Child.
I'll make it happen. I even had the white yarn. I was sitting on the floor of my office over there yesterday, and I had the white yarn there, and I was like, I could start on this. And I'm like, but I also have those festivals coming up, and ended up starting on the hat instead.
I have no scissors in here.
Oh, do you want mine? Here, would you like these? These are my extra ones. These aren't even the ones that I use. Here you go. I'll just set those right there. There you go.
You're so silly. Don't make me laugh, because then I'll cough.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm trying so hard to not cough.
Not cough. I'm gonna text Chloe or Isaac to bring you a Halls or something.
Oh no, I've got
What are those? Look like buttermints. What is that?
they're cough drops.
Oh, the shiny bag made it hard to tell what was in there.
I've got cough drops in here. I've got cough drops by the bed, although I had to take my extra cough drops and move them from here into, because I had 2 bags of cough drops in here, and to move them into the bedroom because I used all the cough drops, sucking on cough drops in my sleep, trying not to cough.
That sounds like a choking hazard.
It is. It is. I suck on the cough drop, and then when I feel like I'm about to fall asleep, I'm like, I cannot fall asleep with this in my mouth because I'll choke. And so I have the piece of paper by my bed, and I just put it in the paper and put it back.
Oh my goodness.
All the cough medicine in our house is expired.
Oh no.
It all says 2022.
Ooh, it's very expired.
I took some anyway, but it did not suppress my cough.
Yeah, because it's expired. The suppressant has expired. So, have you worked on anything in your
I'm
fever sickness?
stuck with cough drops and ibuprofen. I wanted to cut my yarn so I could keep working while we're talking. I'm at the point in the cold where I have coughed so much that I don't have energy to cough anymore.
We should. What if? Hear me out.
Anyway,
I would
what?
say before you share your thing. What if we wrap up today after Yarny Thoughts? Because anything that we do after this is going to be us trying to talk and laugh and kiki, and you don't sound like you're in a kiki and kind of place.
We'll see. The coffee feels like it might buy me another 20 minutes, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Go ahead and pull your stuff up.
So I just finished the color change, so I'm about to go back to the white for the rest of this piece. So this is what I've got so far.
It looks good. Look at you making some progress.
Yep. And I put it on, and it's not going to be cropped. It's going to be long. It looks like it's going to come down below my booty, but it does fit over my arm. See, I have space here.
Yeah.
So when I add the sleeve, it's not going to be constricting.
You'll definitely have space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be constricting. So I don't mind if it's long, I guess, as long as because I'm not talented enough to figure out how to do this and make it cropped but make it big enough for my arms. So that's for another project.
Yeah.
I'm going to just work on this, and if it turns out, then it turns out. If it doesn't, I have a white button-up shirt I can wear it back up. So that is the only thing that I've worked on this week. However, I have seen that Yarnspirations has sent me
yet another thing.
Apparently, did I mention last week that they're just trying to bring back all the 70s crafts apparently?
No.
Did I mention yesterday? I already told you about the sweaters with the strings hanging out of.
Yes, which are awful. You sent me the picture of it. It was atrocious. I hate it.
And then they sent me a thing for, I'm going to see if I can pull the page up without it crashing everything. But they sent me some sort of project
Mm-hmm.
for weaving a scarf.
Okay. While you're pulling that up, you go and pull it up because you are gonna have a hard time talking while you're pulling that up. But while you're pulling that up, I just watched an entire video. Tell me why I sat there and watched an entire video of this woman. She made her own hand spun, hand dyed yarn, wool yarn that she then had a big like triangle weaving like loom thing. Is it still called a loom? I don't know. It looked like just like nails essentially in the shape of a triangle. And she did this method of like you go through and then but you like you so normally with weaving you do all of your like wefts at once and then or you do the up and downs. You do all of your up and down wefts at once and then you go back and forth between them afterwards. But she did this thing where she did the up and downs and the sides to sides at the same she did her wefts and warps, those are the words. She did her wefts and warps at the same time. So she would do like an up and down and then go across it, and then she would do an up and down and then go across it, so that the colors, because she was doing a rainbow shawl, it looked so cool. She like, and it looked gorgeous. Like the colors worked very well together. She ended up having to like cut some of the blue out because it looked like she wasn't going to get to the purple, and she wanted to get the purple, so she cut and like re-tied the blue. But it looked gorgeous. But I was like, why does my heart want me to buy this when I know I would get started on like a single corner and then drop it forever and never pick it up again?
I know. I thought when I agreed all those years ago with my husband that I would stick to just yarn crafts, because, you know, we've told this story before about how I used to try every craft under the sun, and it was starting, you know, I try it for a little bit, then I move on to the next one. I'd have all these supplies sitting in the closet, and at that time it was all like t-shirt painting and stuff that would dry out. And he said, can you please just pick one hobby and stick with that, so that we're not buying all these supplies. Pick one hobby, you know, and things that relate to that hobby. And so I picked yarn, but that does not limit you as much as you would think.
It doesn't.
Because I pick yarn and it'll be knitting and crochet, and, you know, oh, well, I can occasionally cross stitch if I feel like it. That's not exactly yarn, but, you know,
it's
floss.
Fiber art.
Floss doesn't cost much, and it doesn't dry out. But then every time you turn around, there's something different.
The way I want to buy a rug tufting gun so bad.
Oh, I know. I don't want the rug tufting gun, but I want to do the hand version.
The punch needle?
Yeah, just the punch needle. I do not.
I had a punch needle and I don't know where mine went, because I bought one for like $10 on Amazon, but then I had got the wrong like fabric to punch into, and so I couldn't get it to work. And so I had a punch needle. It's either somewhere stuck in all of my craft stuff, or it's gone forever, and it got left at another house when we moved, because it was like 2 houses ago.
See, this is an area where my my hesitation to spend money helps me, because I am attracted to the rug thing, the rug tufting thing. But then I'm like, but I cannot think of a practical use for what I would do with this when I finish it, because wall hangings is not enough for me.
Well, it's a rug tufting thing. You can make a rug.
Do you think after I do all that, I'm gonna let you walk on it on my floor?
That's true. I'm thinking sales brain. So I'm thinking I'm gonna tuft myself a little Kirby rug and then lay it out, and people will buy it at the market. And what they do with it when they take it home after they buy my $70 rug, they can go right ahead.
But so okay. So they've got this quick weave scarf thing. Which immediately my brain was like, okay, this is interesting, but A, the colors are not anything that I want.
Hang on,
I'm trying to see if I
cannot see. What is the thing? How does it work?
I think this is the best picture to show you. Because it's basically a fabric, which again, looking at the fabric, it looks like plastic canvas. And I'm like, okay, that looks rough. So it's got to be softer than what it looks like in the picture.
Oh, and you're supposed to weave your colors in between the...
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that fabric underneath was part of the project. I thought it was a finished product.
No. That's part of the project. You're supposed to take those balls of yarn and weave it in to make that scarf. And it just, I mean, I'd have to see it in the store because it looks like it would be stiff.
It does. And the way that the models are holding it does not help.
Exactly.
Because they are wearing it in the most square shape.
It looks like it would be stiff. But you know, for something like this, just like with those, remember when they had for a minute the pre-looped yarn where you just pull the loops through and you make the blanket.
That stuff is on sale at Joann's all the time.
And I bought some of that specifically and made 2 baby blankets with it. And then that satisfied because I had 2 people in mind or 2 recipients in mind for the baby blankets. And then that satisfied my curiosity for that yarn. I don't ever have to buy that again. You see what I'm saying?
Was it quick and easy to make the baby blankets with that? Because I see that on sale at Joann's all the time.
It sure was.
Okay, because people ask me all the time at like Faye Nectar and at my other markets, like, oh, do you make blankets? Well, not right now because it's hot right now. But they ask me at like later on in the year, they usually ask, oh, do you make blankets? You should make blankets, blah, blah, blah. Especially if we're like at a market and it gets cold outside. And they're like, oh, you should have blankets. You should have blankets. So if those work up real quick, I might buy myself like 6 or 7 skeins of that and just loop-de-loop my way to a blanket.
They work up very quick and it's very easy to do while you're watching TV.
Okay.
So yeah, they work up very quick. And this is me saying quick, and you know nothing's quick for me.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you, because if it works out quick for you, then it'll definitely work out quick for me.
Yeah, it only took me a couple evenings to finish a baby blanket on that, and you know me. But so I thought, okay, I could buy something like this, and I know like your Aunt Terry and her sister Kelly both love to wear scarves. They are big scarf people.
I wish I knew more scarf people.
They're the only. I don't wear scarves, but they always, when they leave the house in the wintertime, they never leave without a scarf. Even in the summer, you know, if it's even slightly cool, like most people will put on a necklace or some jewelry, a scarf is what they finish off their outfit with.
See, they would be the kind of people that if they were near me, they would be the kind of people that would wear like shawls and like the triangular things that Ravelry is always telling you that you should make.
Oh no, they don't wear shawls. And they would not wear those like triangle neck things that
Ravelry they like rectangle scarf.
They want straight up hang down scarves. And that's why, and so I thought, okay, I could make one of these just to get my curiosity out, and then I'd have somebody to give it to. But the colors are not anything they would wear, because the colors are all, except for this one, the gray tartan one, is close. But the rest of them are just too colorful, because they want something that's going to match like their black leather jackets and that sort of thing. But and then I'm looking at $30. I'm like, $30 for a scarf? People, please.
I'm wondering what that mesh is made of, because I feel like you could probably just buy the like mesh stuff and cut it into the size of a scarf and do it yourself, and it'd probably be a lot cheaper.
Well, I also think part of the mesh is doing the heavy lifting, because if you look at the mesh has colors on it.
That too.
So you see the mesh is doing part of the heavy lifting, because if you look at the picture of the scarf on the package and you see that black stripe, and
that's the
you're putting that gray yarn through the black stripe, but it's still showing through and making a stripe.
And it's making the little like plaid thing, yeah.
Yeah. So
Dang.
it's doing part. Yeah, it's doing part of the heavy lifting.
I mean, does the $30 at least include all the yarn and everything too? Mama, does the $30 include the yarn and everything too, or is it just
$30 includes the yarn?
I mean, that's not too terrible. It does look like it's gonna be stiff though.
Yeah. The other thing, I need to answer your father, but let me show you this other thing right quick. Let me take this out of the screen for a second. Because the other thing, that weaving is kind of a 70s almost thing. Look at you with that.
Doesn't that look cute?
It is cute.
I just need to put the little flower bit on top.
It's almost fine it's almost fine without the leaves on top.
But I want the leaves on top.
I know you do.
Because it just looks like because the pattern, it calls it a flower bucket hat, which is definitely this. This is definitely a bucket hat that looks like it's got petals. I like it. I think I want to try to do it in the Super Saver retro stripe. But I don't know. Because if I do it in the Super Saver retro stripe, this has green in it. And so I'm wondering what that will look like if I put a green leaf on top.
I'm sure it would be
how it'll. Yeah. I want to try it though, because I'm just the cutest little guy. This is super cute. What is this?
It's a latch hook kit.
Latch hook kit to make what? Hello, Papa. My father is in the Instagram chat. Hello, Papa. I see you this time. Because I pulled it up on the side. Don't worry, Papa. She is answering your text message as we speak.
This is a latch hook kit, and these were very popular in the 70s and the 80s because I started one anyway. I've never finished one of these, but I know how to do it because I've started a couple.
What are you making though? What is that to make?
Exactly. That's why I would never do it, because what are you going to do with it? You can put it on a pillow. You can put it on a pillow.
Okay.
Or you can hang it on the wall.
Again, it just makes me want to make a rug. Because it's like fuzzy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's full on like shag rug. But it's thick. It comes up higher than, like, if you've ever put your feet in a shag rug.
We used to own a shag rug.
This is thicker than the pile on this is thicker than a shag rug.
That sounds nice though, because walking around in a shag rug is all squishy.
So, but again, there used to be like, because this is just abstract, but I remember in the 70s and 80s, there used to be pictures of things.
That's like, exactly what I was thinking. I saw the shape of this and immediately was like, I could take some of those crochet graphs that I have and immediately and do those in a rug.
Mm-hmm. And this you could buy the latch hook fabric for the latch hook background for this.
How does latch hook work though? Like, do you have to have a bunch of tiny and like tie a bunch of tiny little pieces together?
No. I'm answering your father again.
You're good. He saw us. He was briefly in the Instagram chat. I think he left.
I think he does not want to watch what we're talking about because we're boring.
Tell him to tune in later on when we're talking about TV and stuff.
But back to the first. That's why I always get mad when they call those braids crochet.
Yes, because they're latch hook. They use a latch hook.
They're using this tool, a latch hook, and they call it crochet, and it drives me nuts.
But okay, so back up, because you said that you know how to do this. how can you explain to me the process of after you're done coughing? So you don't have to like tie. How does it?
Have you watched somebody do crochet braids?
Yeah, they have a piece and then you've got a loop and you pull the end through the loop and that makes a knot. But that means that I would have to have a lot of long individual pieces of yarn. So I'm going to be cutting a lot of individual pieces of yarn.
That's why you see on the kit here, you see down here on the kit, those are bundles of yarn already cut.
Okay. Because, like, I would love to make my own cute little picture or whatever, but I don't want to have to cut so many pieces of individual pieces of yarn.
Well, I guess find the kit that you like.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll make the kit and I will sell it for $30. I will be the yarn inspirations. I also, while you are responding to my father once again, oh no, didn't mean to open that window over there. Let's bring this over here so that I can, because I discovered something the other day that I did not realize until I was looking for. First of all, when you buy crochet patterns on Etsy, when you buy things on Etsy, they have they've got a section for you to access your downloads. They need to make that easier to get to. I've bought a lot of crochet patterns on Etsy, and sometimes I just want to go to my downloads page, and they do not make it easier to get there. Like, I have to go through my purchases and then find the exact order, and then like go through and blah blah. Anyway, I am realizing that, let me see, crochet. I am realizing that I have bought a lot of patterns that I straight up forgot about. And like I almost went through and rebought a pattern that I didn't need to buy, because I will purchase patterns on Etsy and be like, yes, I can use them later. And then because I don't get on Etsy regularly, I forget that the pattern is there. So I am going to pull this up and we're going to go through my Etsy purchases while my mother is having an absolute coughing fit. I don't need to share the audio. But let's see. This is the one that I need to add to the screen. Oh no, it brought you back up. We can remove your picture there. Because she is having a hard coughing time. But okay, so this is, first of all, this is the hat that I'm working on right now, which is super cutesy. That's the mushroom hat that I worked on previously. This is the flail pattern that I started and have not finished. I still have like the bits of the flail sitting on my table over there. I started on it and have not finished it. Ma'am! Oh, my dog has decided that now is the time when she wants to lay down under the blanket that's on my lap. Under my table. Okay. But the flail pattern that I hadn't finished. And then I was just about to buy another goose pattern. And I realized that I was going through looking for this hat. And then I was just about to buy another goose pattern. Fully forgot that I bought this. I bought this dragon ring pattern. I almost rebought this. And fully forgot that I bought this. And then that's the shirt. I love this pattern, by the way. I need to make more of those. But I also bought a cloak pattern. Don't remember buying that because I think I ended up using a free cloak pattern. So don't remember buying that. The string catcher mandala vest, I remember that I had this. Didn't remember that I bought it online. Don't remember buying the snake pattern at all because I use, again, a free snake pattern. So I guess I bought it, didn't like it. I don't remember using this. I have crochet granny stitch shorts. Bought this pattern. Don't remember buying this at all. Have never crocheted this pattern whatsoever. Like, it's, what am I doing? And they look cute. They're like booty shorts, which I meant to buy booty short pattern, but they're super short. And then going into the second page, because I know that there's more. I've made this top exactly one time. And I got very frustrated because I made this top one time. It looked very cute. And then but I don't have the mannequin form. I'm currently looking on Craigslist to get a mannequin form because I don't have the mannequin form. And so sitting on the table, people think it's a scarf, it's a bag, it's a this, it's a that. No one realizes that it's a halter top unless I have it on a mannequin. So I made it the one time. It took so long to sell, and then I never made it again. I have this crochet ear flap dog hat pattern that I never made even one time. It's because I wanted this one because it's got different sizes, so I could make like small dog, big dog. No, I did make it one time. I made it one time, and it took forever to sell off the table. Did not make any more. I need to make more of these in bulk, but I just have not. These I've made multiple times. The swearing dishcloth set, love that. These I've made multiple times. This, so remember that mandala pattern that I showed earlier? I thought that was the one that I'd made. This is the one that I've made. That other one, I have not made. I have not made even once. So this is the one that I've made. The other one I have not made. This top, I don't think that I've made it. I don't think I've made this one even once. This I've definitely made. I've made this multiple times. There was another one that I had though, that I thought, let me see, what if I type in pattern? Because there was one more that I was like, why have I not made this? And it's not showing up. It's breaking. Everything is breaking. Because my computer doesn't want to stream. Yeah, I knew I was missing patterns because I have my Winnie the Dragon pattern, which is the big dragon pattern that I keep making, and I really like that pattern. I've made it clearly multiple times. There was one, and I think I'm just not gonna find it. Yeah, I'm just not gonna find it. But I have bought far too many patterns. Oh no, good. We're gonna stop sharing. That's what I wanted to do. But I've made far too many patterns and have not made enough of them. I don't know why I keep purchasing patterns on Etsy. I need to stop purchasing patterns on Etsy. Are you going to make it, mother? You look like you were having a hard time. You're muted now, so no one can hear you. The world cannot hear the things you need to say.
You could talk for the U.S. team.
Absolutely. If I find a subject, then I can continue talking. And I knew that I needed to talk because you were having a full coughing meltdown.
No, I wasn't.
You definitely were. I saw you in the little thumbnail. But can you believe I have all of those patterns and have not made so many of them?
Oh, I believe it because I have a bad habit, or I used to have a bad habit of collecting free patterns.
Oh, if I was going through the free patterns that I haven't made, we would be here literally all day.
Because you know me, I'm not one who likes to spend money, but see a free pattern that looks cute, I will download it in a heartbeat. Or I used to. Now I stop myself because it's like, I'm not going to make this. But I still download stuff that I still haven't made. I have a whole...
I just want to have it just in case I want to make it later.
I have at least two different folders. In other news, your father has reset our Spectrum password again.
Again? That's hilarious.
He actually called Spectrum and they told him he was locked out.
Uh-huh.
And that he needed to reset his password. And so he was just sending me the new password. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do when this happens again? Because this happens every other month with you. And he says, well, it shouldn't now. I'm like, okay.
He didn't trust the way that you were changing the password. He needed to do it himself.
Okay. 2 months from now.
We have it on record. We have it on video.
at least he somewhat followed my convention for changing passwords, because his convention for changing passwords, he makes passwords based on a shape on the keyboard. So his passwords are all like gibberish that I will never remember.
That's how I got locked out of one of my phones. So I got a new phone, and I love to use, before I got my Motorola, I had the other ones, I can't remember what it was, but it has the shape lock password where it's got like 9 dots and you can do the shape lock or whatever. And I love those because it feels like it's not something that someone can like guess or anything like that, because I'm just making it up on the spot. But then I got a new phone, but my character sheet for D&D was on my old phone on an app, and that app does not transfer online. So if I want to have my character sheet, I need to make a new character sheet on the new app, and so it doesn't transfer over. So I was just using my old phone, like I was just keeping it charged just to have my character sheet to play. And then we missed a week. We missed a week of D&D, and so I did there was 1 week we played, and then we didn't play, and then we were going to play again. And in that week, it was just gone. I don't know what I learned that pushed that information out of my brain, but I still don't know what that password is. I was remembering an old password from 2 phones ago. I could not remember the password for that phone to save my life. I'm still locked out of that phone. I have no idea what happened. It was just, and this is months ago, but it was just absolutely gone. I was having a breakdown because we were trying to play, and I couldn't remember the password, and I was checking, and then I did the thing where you do it too many times and you get locked out for 10 minutes, and then you get locked out for 20 minutes, and then you get locked out for I was locked out for an hour and a half. I don't know what happened, but the information was just fully plucked from my brain. I was so furious. So furious. But anyway, media consumption, is that what we're doing? Do you want to do media consumption, or do you want to wrap it up since you were having coughing issues?
What time is it?
It's 11:30.
It's 11:30. I've done my major cough, so I might last for about 10-15 more minutes.
See, you said that before, because you're like, oh, I've got the coffee now, so I'll definitely be totally fine for the next 20 minutes.
So let's not waste time. What have we been doing? Have you been watching anything cool?
I mean, I have watched things. Cool is relative.
What have you
I watched? So I watched 3 Men and a Baby, and I watched 3 Men and a Little Lady. I'm not gonna go. I was prepared to go into a full spiel of those. It's been too long since I watched the movie, so I'm not in full spiel mode. Love Tom Selleck. I will probably he doesn't. I might watch Magnum PI or something. I don't know, because I know him from Friends, and then I watched him in this movie. He's Tom Selleck. He's interesting to watch. Because I feel like there is a trend of 90s and early 2000s movies of, we make one movie is good, people like movie, we're gonna make sequel to movie, but then there's gonna be a fully secondary love interest that didn't exist in the first movie. It has to be a rom-com for some reason, even though that wasn't what the first movie was about. And how do we lose the plot from first movie to second movie? I don't understand. But that's what happened with that movie, because it seemed like they were set, because in the first movie he was in an open relationship with this girl who was a lawyer or something, I don't know, so she has to travel around a lot, but they had an open relationship of they're allowed to date other people, but then she'll come back and stay with him, he'll stay with her sometimes, and things will work out. And then all of a sudden she just disappeared in the second movie. At the end of the first movie, she was they were good. Things were working out well for them. He didn't say anything I don't think this is going to work because I have another little lady in my life now, or anything cheesy like that. It was working. And then all of a sudden she doesn't exist in the second movie.
I think if going on my vague memories of behind the scenes Hollywood gossip, usually what happens in those movies, I haven't seen 3 Men and a Little Lady, and I don't think I saw 3 Men and a Baby all the way through, to be honest. But usually in those movies, by the time they decide to make a sequel, whoever was the love interest in the first one did not want to come back for the second movie. And so they have to come up with a different storyline.
Okay, gotcha.
That's usually what happens.
That's that. It's a. I would recommend the first one is a fun little thing to put on while you're working on something, while you're crocheting, while you're doing your fiber arts or whatever. The second one, you don't need it. You don't need it. It's just a lot of like, I love her, but she wants to do her own thing. So I am Tom Selleck. I'm a man, and this movie is about me, even though it's supposed to be about the baby. And I can't tell her that I'm in love. And she's like, okay, I'm in love with you, but since you won't physically say it aloud, this can never happen. You don't need it. First one, cute, funny, a lot of running around trying to save this baby, and cocaine for some reason, because she accidentally, like the baby accidentally becomes a drug mule. Ridiculous. Second one, you don't need it. And then I watched Sister Act 1 and 2, which I fully forgot the plot of those movies, because I think I saw them like maybe when they came out one time and then never rewatched them. So this was me rewatching them. I need to look up more Whoopi movies. Whoopi was fun. Whoopi was absolutely fun to watch. So I'm gonna look up some more of her movies. First one.
Wait a minute, you've never seen a Whoopi Goldberg movie?
I had seen Sister Act 1 and 2. I just hadn't seen them in forever.
But you're saying I would look up other Whoopi Goldberg movies. You don't remember seeing her in any other movies?
Whoopi Goldberg is one of those people who I know that I've seen them in things, and I know who they are, but I cannot name another thing that they are in. Like, I can't,
like The Color Purple?
I think I saw that. I think I saw that once.
Oh, God, help us.
I believe that I saw that, but like forever ago.
Even I, the person who does not have a black card, has seen The Color Purple.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think I saw it, but just like Sister Act, I would not be able to tell you any specifics of that movie, because like I feel like I've seen it, but it was forever ago, and then I never rewatched it.
I can't fault you for that, because I am the same way with books. I read books, and it's become a trend on TikTok. A lot of people are saying the same thing, so it's not just me who's like this, where I'll read a book and I'll enjoy the book. Don't ask me next week about the book. Like, for instance, the book that I mentioned in the opening, I had to go back and look up what I last read, because when I was reading it, I was like, okay, I'll use this in the opening for the next Coffee Klatsch, because I always think of what book am I going to use in the opening for the next Coffee Klatsch. I'll use this in the opening for the next Coffee Klatsch. Okay, I have gone through 3 other books since I finished reading that book last week, so I couldn't even remember which book I was going to use or what it was called or what the setup was. I just remember something I read last week I wanted to use, and so then I had to go back on my Goodreads and look up the book to remember. So I'm like that about books all the time. I remember either that I liked them or I didn't like them, but I don't always remember what the plot is. But unlike, because there are some people who will get a good 75% through the book and then remember, oh, I think I've read this. For me, I'll pick it up. I'll think, I don't know if I read this or not. By the time I get to the end of the first chapter, it's like, oh yeah, I remember I read this. And then I can put it away. I may not remember everything in the plot, but I'll remember that I read it.
Remember enough that it's not fresh.
I'll remember it. I'll read the first chapter. I'll remember I read it, and then it depends. If it's a bad book, I'll be like, oh yeah, I read this and I hated it, or I DNF'd it because it was because of this, this, and this, and this, and it all come back to me how bad the book was. Or I'll read the first chapter and go, oh, this was good, but I don't remember what happened but I remember it was good. So I'll go ahead and reread this because I don't have anything else to read, and I don't remember it. But I remember it was good. So I'll go ahead and read it again and enjoy it a second time.
That was me with Sister Act. I was like, I remember that it was good. I don't remember a single thing about that movie. Like I was fully taken aback at the beginning of that movie where she was a lounge singer and her, like, the whole plot of the movie is that her ex-boyfriend is out to get her.
Mm-hmm.
That was never in my brain. I was like,
yeah,
he's gonna kill her.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because that's one of those things because there's a couple movies like that where the main thing you remember about the movie is the later part. Like in Sister Act, you remember that she's pretending to be a nun and the kids are singing and that, it's all great and everything.
Kids are in Sister Act too.
The
kids don't even exist in the first one. The kids are in Sister Act too.
Yeah, I'm conflating two of them together, but yeah, you remember their singing because that's the thing that made it famous was the singing.
Yeah.
But you forget the whole beginning plot of running away from the mob.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because it's improbable.
Yeah.
Because she has that bad wig on.
Bruh, her hair. Just
and the idea of her dating Harvey Keitel looks ridiculous. Her and Harvey Keitel do not look like a match at all.
No, not at all. Not even a little.
Not at all. And the wig was so bad. And I don't know if it was a bad wig or it's because we're so used to seeing her with locks that anything else would look bad. But it was just bad.
She in the first movie, she has her, like, she does her little, like, we're saving the monastery or whatever. Monastery? We're saving the church or whatever.
The convent.
And then, the convent. And then and then the mobster boyfriend finds her, and then the police come and, like, stop him, and so he's no longer an issue, and so she becomes a big headliner on in Vegas, and then and then her sisters come to see her show in Vegas, and she's like, oh, come back to my dressing room. And so she's got another, like, big wig, and then she takes the wig off, and she's got a wig cap. So in the first movie, they're like, this is her hair, and they're saying that this is her hair. In the second movie, she's got the same hair in the first section, and then she takes it off, and it's a wig.
Oh, good Lord.
It was so funny. But so those I watched, and then just yesterday, I watched, have you been watching anything on Dropout?
No.
On Dropout, in a Game Changer, the last Game Changer. So the Game Changer at the end of the season, they usually do a really big thing. Like the last, I want to say 2 seasons, they did like Survivor or whatever.
Okay.
And we watched those. This season, at the end of the season, they did The Circle.
Oh no.
They had a bunch of, and I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I liked it because I know who these people are. Mm-hmm. And so they had each of the people. So they had, like, Brendan Lee Mulligan and Rekha Shankar and Ali Beardsley and who else did they have? Katie Maravich and Jess, whatever Jess's last name came. But they had them. And they had them create a character, and then they sent them to a room, and they're like, so you have to, Zach Oyama was also there. They say, you have to pretend to be this character. And so they're pretending, and then you also have to guess who the other people are. So they're, like, guessing of all of the Dropout cast members. So, like, they were guessing, like, Ify Wadaway, who wasn't there, and they were guessing all these other people who weren't there, but they have, like, the entire Dropout cast list to guess from, and they're guessing who they think these other people are to try to get points. But also, they call the episode the Ratfish because there is an extra person. So there's 8 personalities, 7 cast members. The 8th person is a special guest who is in to throw everybody off. To in the guessing and stuff. It was so good. I watched it. It's 2 episodes. I watched it. It was good.
Well, I might go look at that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because I know who these people are. And so watching them try to, like, do funny bits and try to guess who the other people are and stuff. That I think that's why I enjoyed it, because as we have discussed on here, I don't really like the circle, but I like that setup that they did in the show. It was very fun.
I might check it out just for the heck of it.
Yeah, it's in the Game Changer, like the most recent season of the ending, and it's called The Ratfish.
Well, I'll have to take a look at that then. Oh, they did a Sister Act 2 reunion on The View a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago? Like very recently? Dang.
Yeah, so very, very recently.
So I'm with the times.
And I didn't watch the whole reunion thing. Your father watched it because The View, I think, tends to come on while he's on his break at work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going on in the break room. So sometimes he watches it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he saw the whole reunion thing. I just saw the all the people that they could get to come back. They sang the the song in the closing of Sister Act 2 when they're doing the competition. They sang that again.
Was it a reunion of the first one, or was it a reunion of the second one?
No, it was reunion of the second one with the kids.
Okay.
Although they had several of the, like Kathy and the Jimmy and some of the other people who had been in the first one. So the singing was good. They did a good job on the song. Because, I mean, some of them, like, for instance, one of the girls who only did, like, a bit part in the second one, her and her husband are a singing duo called The War and Treaty that I follow. Okay. And so they've had a little bit of success. You see them pop up on award shows and stuff like that. And I had been following her and her husband for a minute before I realized that she was that girl off of Sister Act 2. So I don't remember if she sang as much in the original movie, but she sang a good bit in this reunion bit thing.
Nice.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we have watched or consumed or... Because I haven't really been watching much of anything that's worth anything because I have been feeling sick.
Yeah, I've also just been watching a lot of YouTube.
I've been watching YouTube. I've been watching a lot of game stuff because Steam Next Fest was this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to check out and see any games that I wanted to play. There's not a lot coming up that's interesting to me. I did mention last Friday on Coffee Klatsch Playing Around that oh god, I got a little bit of water left in here. On Coffee Klatsch Playing Around that Cozy Grove is going to be a Netflix exclusive game. The new Cozy Grove. I might try it just because I enjoyed Cozy Grove, the original one, when I played it. Just
it got to a point where like it feels like you're not making progress anymore.
Yeah.
For me, like there's like, oh, you've got a new ghost and you've got to do this thing for this ghost. You've got to do this thing for this ghost. And all of a sudden it's like, you've got to do this thing for this ghost. It's going to take like 3 weeks. And then you also have to do this thing for this ghost, but you can't do that until you do this thing for this other ghost, which also is going to take like 3 weeks. Like
it felt like they were very repetitive.
Yeah, it felt repetitive, and also like just the difficulty increase of the tasks that needed to be done just felt like time wasting. It didn't feel like, oh, we're doing something productive, like, oh, I can sit here and grind on this for a while. It's like, I've just got to wait for this thing to appear. I have to it didn't feel like something I could actively play.
Yeah, because some of the things were like, you need 50 pieces of silver. Or like 50 silver bars, but to get the silver bars, first you have to find the ore, and then you need to smelt the ore, but you need to get all this wood for the fire to smelt the ore. And then after you do all that, you only end up with 2 bars. And then you got to do it all over again until you have 50 bars. But that's kind of the same issue I have with a lot of games that I play, because I tend to play a lot of games in this casual realm. And the quests are fun. Like I'm a big fan of merge games too. And the quests are fun in the beginning, where you need to serve this person a cake and a hot dog. Okay? And you only need to merge like 4 things to get the cake. And like 2 things to get the hot dog. But then the next person wants a hamburger. You got to merge about 15 things to get the hamburger.
Yeah.
And the thing you have to tap to get pieces, because it starts out with bread. It starts out with dough, and you merge the dough to get bread, and then you merge the bread to get buns, and then you merge the buns to get hot dogs, and then you merge the hot dogs to get the hot dogs with ketchup, and then you merge those hot dogs with ketchup to get hot dogs with ketchup and mustard, and then you know.
Yeah.
But before you can get to the hamburger, the thing you're tapping to get the dough times out, and then you have to wait for that to recharge.
Exactly.
Before you can get more dough. So, since I only play these games once a day,
you are making like no progress.
Exactly. I have to come back tomorrow, even though it only takes like maybe 10 minutes for it to charge up, 10 minutes or an hour or whatever. I'm done playing for today. So it may take me a week to get that hamburger. But see, that's how they get people to actually pay money in these games. Because you could continue to tap, or you could just use some of the gems, which cost money, to go ahead and get the hamburger, which I'm not going to do. Because I can just slide over to another game.
Exactly.
But that's how I start these games, and I enjoy them, and then you get up to a point where it's not making any progress. But I'll still kind of half-heartedly play it. But then a new merge game will come out with nice graphics, and it's like, okay, and I know what I'm doing. It's like, I know that this new merge game is going to hit the same wall that this one did. But it's fun while it lasts. So I will delete that one and start the new one, just to get that little thrill. And it's better than spending money. And I meant to tell you about that game, and I can't remember. It's Welcome to Primrose Grove, Primrose Lane. I think was it. I'm sorry, I'm peeling this orange, trying to get some moisture in my throat so that I can stop coughing.
You're good.
I'm out of it.
It's already 11:50, so we're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I gotta peace out.
And I need to go to work. Primrose Lake. That's what it is. Welcome to Primrose Lake. It's on Nintendo Switch. It has a good story. I know you don't necessarily like time management games.
I don't mind time management games as long as like I feel like I can keep doing stuff.
But
if that makes sense.
But you've played like the Delicious Emily games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They had this Welcome to Primrose Lake. They had it on sale for like $2 on it's $7.99 right now on Nintendo Switch, but they had it on sale for $2 a while back, and so I bought it. but it's like there's a weird mystery going on in it.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out with this woman getting in this car. I might be getting the beginning part wrong, but the very beginning I might be getting wrong. But this woman is in this car. She's heading out on her vacation, right? She's in her jeans and t-shirt and all that stuff. She gets all of a sudden on the side of the road, there's this girl in a wedding dress running. So she picks her up.
Okay.
Where you going? Anywhere but here. So turns out so she's the runaway bride. When she takes off her veil and everything and settles down in the car, they look exactly like each other. They look like twins, except one has green eyes and one has blue eyes. And one of them has her hair like flat iron straight, and the other one has her hair kind of wavy. But other than that, they look like the same person.
Okay.
And so the non-bride is like, okay, you can come stay with me for a little bit since you have nowhere else to go. And so they go to Primrose Lake because the non-bride, I can't remember their names, but their names both start with J. It's something like Jessica and Janice or something, but they both have the same last name, and both of their names start with J. Okay, the non-bride who was going on vacation, so she pulls up to this like cafe or whatever. I guess she's inherited the cafe or whatever, and she goes. It's like a mystery because they get there and then there's this package that gets slid under the door with some pictures in it, and then the non-bride looks at the stuff and says, well, I've got to go take a look at something. So then she leaves and she says, if anybody comes by, just don't tell them that I'm not here. So they come by and they think that the bride is the other girl.
Is the other one.
Because they look exactly like each other except for the eye color. So she tries to open the cafe, and the lady who owns the diner across the street is mad because, what are you coming in here going to run me out of business, blah blah blah. And there's a woman so the non-bride girl gets kidnapped.
Wild.
And tied up in a garage or in a place. And she tries to tell the guy who kidnaps her is like this big, beefy, you expect his name to be Hoss. And he just kind of does whatever, the other man tells him to do. So the other man told him to kidnap the girl, so he kidnapped the girl. And the girl is like, but don't you remember me? I'm your cousin. And he's like, no, that's not true. My cousin is dead. And the other guy who runs the town, nobody's seen him, so they think he's dead too, but he's just hiding up in his house. I'm not explaining it well.
It sounds like a wild ride.
But there is an interesting mystery that I haven't gotten to the bottom of. I had just gotten to a good point, and then for some reason I stopped playing it. And this was like 3-4 months ago. I stopped playing it, and I think I've been thinking about it for the past month. I want to pick that game up. Ever since I canceled my Apple Arcade, I feel a little bit of a weight off of me, like, because we mentioned this on Friday about how I felt guilty that I wasn't playing enough Apple Arcade games because I was paying $7 a month for it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this for a while. And even though I was playing Solitaire Stories every day, which is an Apple Arcade game, I wasn't playing any of the other bigger ones. And so I just felt guilty. So I said, let me cancel this for a while and I'll come back to it later. And immediately after I canceled it, I felt, okay, I can go play some of these other games now that have been sitting here waiting. And the first thing that came to my mind was playing Welcome to Primrose Lake on the Switch. But I haven't picked it up yet. But I've been thinking about it every day.
Then pick it up.
So
I mean, you're sick right now. You can sit in bed and play it.
Probably. But I have crocheting to do. I have my crochet along.
Also have crocheting to do, but because I was taking my break for the last couple days, I yesterday just laid down and played Breath of the Wild for a good couple hours. Because I had played it before, but I got like really far and then stopped playing it. So I didn't remember any of the controls, didn't remember where I was, didn't remember any of that. And so I just restarted the game, which I wish I had remembered where I was, because I was pretty far. I had there were 4 or 5 ancient machines or whatever you have to destroy, and I had destroyed 2 of them.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about my favorite game that shall not be named. People replay it for the 3rd time. I'm like, no. I started up a second save and replayed it when they added some new stuff, but I'm not gonna replay it from the beginning again.
Well, I never finished the game and I couldn't remember anything, and so I was like, let me just.
But you get to a point where you know that there was a bunch of things in there that were hard to beat, and you got past them. I don't want to start from the beginning and try to beat those things again.
That's true. Because some of them were a pain in the butt to try to deal with, but I am going to do it. Because the thing that I like about that game, honestly, is the same thing that I liked about Red Dead Redemption, which is just wandering around the world, fighting little guys every once in a while, collecting plants and butterflies and stuff, and making money to buy cute little things. And the main missions are interesting and cute, but that's not what I play that game for. I play that game for wandering around and climbing mountains and messing around with stuff and all the side quests.
Mm-hmm. My hair is a hot mess. You should have told me.
You can't blame me for that.
I can.
Incorrect. Well, it is 11:58. We have already bled into gaming talk. I'm gonna... Here. It's time for us to go. This has been the Wednesday Coffee Klatsch. I have been Artemis. That has been Dani. Everybody, write something in the chat saying that you hope she feels better. She's having a time. Even now, she's having a time. If you liked what we were doing, press the thumbs up button. Give us a like. If you want to, support us and everything and help us out, why don't you go ahead and give us a subscribe, and then we'll show up in your feed. Unless you messed up your YouTube algorithm like I did, and now you're getting a bunch of nonsense you don't want to watch. If you want to know
this far, put a cup of hot tea in the comments.
Yeah, put a cup of hot tea in the comments, and then go have a cup of hot tea yourself. If you want to know exactly when we go live, not just on Wednesdays, but also on Fridays when we play our games, hit the notification bell, ding, and it'll give you it'll give you a little notification of when we're going live, so you can be here in the live chat. Oh my goodness, remind me that sound means I need to drink water, even though I don't have any around me. Chat about the books and the TVs and the movies and stuff. We usually have people in the chat. We didn't have anybody in the chat today, but we usually have people in the chat. So if you hop in,
that's because
live,
Ronald is at Origins.
Oh my goodness! So we will hear about that next week. We'll see how that went.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get out of here. I gotta take people to work. She needs to ingest about 7 or 8 more cough drops, honestly, based on how she was coughing. So we will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Ending the stream.